Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Haunted House. My name is Ghost, and welcome back to another episode of History with a Ghost. I've said this for a bunch of videos now, but this story is truly bizarre and just makes you question your faith in humanity. Today, we are talking about the Slender Man stabbing. Yes, that is the actual name. To start, we need to introduce and give background to our two degenerates of the story, Morgan Geyser and Anison Weil. Were both born on the 10th of November 2001 and the 16th of May 2002. They grew up in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Um, at the time of their crime, they would both be 12. Anissa is now 24 and Morgan is 23. They became friends around late 2013 and like early 2014. They became friends because they both lived in the same apartment complex and had a interest in something called creepypasta. Morgan introduced it to Anissa, I should say. That's all that's known about their childhood. This isn't the oldest case. Creepypastas, for people who don't know, are basically like homemade horror stories, characters, and other stuff made by just like your average people at home on the internet. People like Jeff the Killer, which everyone knows. Um, the story of Ted the Caver, which was the first ever creepypasta. The Backrooms, and of course Slender Man. The Slender Man was created in 2009 by a man named Eric Dodson, a tall slender man, hence the name, whose face is featureless. He has long arms and has a fancy suit, and he can stretch his arms and do a bunch of other creepy stuff. They loved this character, maybe a little too much. The school they both went to was a school called Horning Middle School. There, they would become friends with Peyton Lautner, who was also 12 at the time. She also lived and grew up in Waukesha, Wisconsin. She was a sweet kid, nothing weird about her, unlike Anissa and Morgan. Morgan knew Peyton from her early childhood, but Anissa didn't. Uh, Anissa only became friends with her in school. Um, Morgan and Peyton were great friends. They always ate together at lunch, played with each other, talked on the phone, and texted each other constantly. It seems like nothing could break their friendship. Peyton never caught on that she was not snored at her, and Anissa were planning something evil. For several months, Anissa and Morgan planned to kill Peyton to appease Slender Man, the fictional character we just talked about. They were apparently worried that Slender Man would attack them and their family, so they wanted to carry out a murder to stop him from doing that and become his servants. I don't get how someone can be this delusional, but with the findings later, it makes sense. Eventually, their plan was finished, and they decided to execute it on the 31st of May 2014. The night before, they all had a sleepover at Morgan's house to celebrate her birthday. On the day, they went to a place called David's Park. They went to a wooded area near it. Um, they apparently went to play hide and seek. When they got there, they told Peyton to lay down in a pile of leaves as her hiding spot. I don't understand how Peyton didn't think something was up by this point. The Seekers don't choose the hiding spot for you. But anyway, she did as they asked, and when she was on the ground, Morgan pulled out a massive kitchen knife and stabbed her 19 times. She was stabbed in the diaphragm, the liver, and the stomach. One stab wound almost hit her heart, which would have instantly killed her. It was millimeters away. After she was stabbed, Morgan and Anissa fled, apparently looking for Slender Man. Freaking nut jobs, I swear. Miraculously, Peyton was still alive though. She was fading in and out of consciousness. She managed to drag herself all the way to a nearby road where a cyclist found her and called the cops. The police showed up and paramedics, and they start working on her. And the police start asking her who did this, and she doesn't want to answer questions, which is valid, really. She just got stabbed 19 times and is near death, but eventually she tells them and gives them a description, and police start fanning out across the city to find them. She's rushed to Pro Health Wakasha Memorial Hospital, where she undertakes a 6-hour emergency surgery. In the meantime, they are still looking for Morgan and Anissa, and eventually, a couple hours after the initial attack, they are found by a officer. They were found near Interstate 94, supposedly still looking for Slender Man. They were questioned and searched. When they searched them, they found the kitchen knife they used bloody. They quickly admitted to what they did and why, and they were arrested. By this point, Peyton's surgery has finished, and miraculously, after being stabbed 19 times, let me say that again, 19 times, she's on the mend, which is just incredible. Now, after they were arrested, they were taken to two separate places. Anissa was sent to the Washington County Juvenile Secure Detention Center, which she was held there for a good amount of time. Morgan, on the other hand, was sent to a psych ward for evaluation. She was actually sent to multiple for years. While there, again, she was put under evaluation, and my god, was she nuts. She was quickly diagnosed with schizophrenia. Um, she told doctors and investigators of hallucinations she would have. Hallucinations of ghosts and, quote, colors melting down the wall, and of imaginary friends called Maggie and Sev. A hallucination she would have regularly was of a figure made of smoke and ink, who would apparently stand behind her all the time, appearing in mirrors and stuff. In her notebook, they found creepy drawings related probably to the smoke and ink dude and Slender Man, most likely. She was nuts and would go through a lot of therapy and was put on meds. Eventually, after 3 years from the stabbing on uh, the 13th of September 2017, the trial started, and by the end, Anissa was sentenced to 20 years in that institution, which I don't understand, as she wasn't crazy. She just fell under Morgan's thumb. But anyway, as for Morgan, she was sentenced to 40 years in that institution for obvious reasons. After 4 years, Anissa was released and now lives with her parents under supervision. She also had a ankle monitor, but that was discontinued. She isn't allowed to go on the internet or anything, or anywhere near Peyton. As for Morgan, well, that's a different story. In early 2025, Morgan was released from the mental institution she was being held at and put into a group home. Not long after transferring there, she would cut off her ankle monitor and escape the home she was being held at. She was found 24 hours later in Posen, Illinois, sleeping outside a gas station with 43-year-old Chad Mecca, a transgender woman. From what I found, the two had a relationship and were scared that they wouldn't see each other again, like they would be split in the home, so they ran away with each other. Crazy stuff. She went back to court after her escape and was sent back to a psych ward in the end, which she is still currently there. As for Peyton, the victim of this whole nightmare, well, she would struggle with major PTSD for a while. She could not sleep alone for years and would sleep with a pair of scissors under her pillow for longer. In an interview in 2019, Peyton bizarrely thanked them for what they did, saying that she didn't have a plan for life when she was 12, but because of them, she now does. Peyton is currently looking to join the medical field as a therapist, which I find amazing and fitting. But yeah, that's about everything about the Slender Man stabbing. Probably the craziest murder or attempted murder, really, uh, that I'll ever cover. But yeah, sorry if I sound a bit weird during this video. I've had a stuffy nose for the last couple of days. I don't know why, but yeah. If you like this video, please give it a like and a follow, and I'll see you next time. Bye.